It's what we do. Good morning. Nonstop news starts right now. 15 minutes. Everything you need to know before you walk out the door. News, weather, traffic, all the headlines, all the video, everything that everybody's going to be talking about today. Obviously, we're going to start off with Joy. She'll get you where you need to go when it comes to traffic. But first, Jeannette. Not bad when it comes to the weather today.
Yes, nowhere near as windy as yesterday. And temperatures this morning feel quite nice. It's coolish. We're seeing 40s and 50s. Just know that this time tomorrow morning will be even cooler. 56 in San Antonio right now. That is at the airport. It's in the lower 50s on the north side of town. Outside of Bexar County, 50 degrees in Bernie, 47 in Kerrville, 45 in Rock Springs. I'm also seeing some 40s down towards the southwest. Meanwhile, in New Braunfels, it's 55, Gonzales and Cuero, low 50s. Winds out of the north at 10 miles an hour sustained at the airport here, 12 in Bernie, 13 in New Braunfels. So we'll see that wind pick up a little more later this morning. Could have occasional wind gusts up to 20, 25 miles an hour. And then this afternoon, less wind. At the bus stop this morning, we'll see temperatures in the low to mid 50s. After school, we'll get into the 70s. Tomorrow will be a breezy day. Friday, it warms up into the 80s, and then we'll see another cool down this weekend, tracking another front that's going to bring us some changes for the weekend. Your full forecast coming up in under 10 minutes.
Well, traffic is definitely starting to pick up a little bit. We've got a few slowdowns that I want to talk to you about, including, of course, the northeast side. I-35 starting to see that backup rebuild both in the north and southbound lanes of I-35 as you're approaching Loop 1604. Northbound, it's about a 10 to 15 minute delay. Southbound, about a 10-minute delay. Well, now on top of that, we do also have a crash here on Loop 410 right at Austin Highway. So that's going to be the westbound lanes. You can see that little bit of backup forming there as well, and also affecting the northbound lanes of I-35 before that interchange. Downtown, a crash is causing about a 5-minute delay northbound on I-35. That's the upper level as you're approaching the Y. And of course, this is the same area where southbound I-35 is going to see some issues because of construction closures. Down to one lane southbound between West Martin Street and Cesar Chavez. Starting to add a couple of minutes to your morning commute here. You can see it's busier now in that live picture than it was when we started earlier this morning. I want to turn now to photojournalist David Mendoza in your South Texas Ford dealer Sky 4. David, you're above downtown. What are we looking at?
There is some moderate traffic in the area stretching all the way back here. If we zoom out a little bit, I also wanted you to see the haze that we have on the horizon right now. Low visibility up here. It's kind of hazy. It's not looking that bad, but as I zoom back in on the traffic, we do have moderate traffic right over here on the 35. I'll keep you updated with what I see. Toss it back to you.
All right, David, thank you. Definitely hazy out there. That's the latest with your on-time traffic.
So we got several things working right now, so we're going to get some breaking news here first. A live look at a recycling plant fire on the southwest side. Emergency crews called out. This all started about 4 a.m. This is a plant off Freeport Road near 410 and 35. That's the down low live picture version. Going to take you up top here. Here's a view from your South Texas Ford dealer Sky 4 a little bit before the sun came up. Firefighters say that some trash inside the outside yard of this plant caught fire. Flames were knocked out pretty quickly, so kudos to the firefighters there, but there's still a lot of smoke in the area. Certainly, you blend that with the fire or the smoke that we've seen over the last 24 hours. Not great for breathing conditions, but the good news here, because of this fire, no one was hurt. Speaking of all the fires here the last 24 hours, local firefighters have been working like crazy to put out grass fires and brush fires threatening homes over on the southeast side. This all started yesterday, of course. Crews from local, county, state departments all teaming up on this. The winds were a real mess. Jeannette told you that was going to be the issue all morning. New San Antonio Fire Chief Valerie Frausto, though, said those flames were a real challenge. Nobody was hurt, but several people were asked to evacuate their homes, and 6 structures were caught in that fire.
It is really, really difficult to manage a fire like this. Units are on top of it, and they're doing a great job with containment, and they're being very aggressive.
This morning, emergency crews continued battling a large wildfire in Blanco County. That's just west of Johnson City. The Colette fires burned about 130 acres. At last check, the Texas A&M Forest Service says that fire is about 50% contained. Emergency crews are using bulldozers to create a containment line around that fire perimeter. Well, we continue our team coverage of fires, not only here in Bexar County, but Central Texas as well. Right now, crews are battling the Onion Creek fire that's just west of Buda. It's near the city limits of Kyle. Fred Cantu from our sister station there in Austin joins us now live. Fred, you're out there on the scene. Set the stage here. What's happening? How bad is it?
We're just starting to get some daylight here, so the firefighters will be looking to see what progress that they've made with this fire. They have made some progress overnight. Yesterday, the fire was at 174 acres. This morning, they're reporting that it's down to 80 acres and 45%. And as you mentioned, it's in the hill country just west of I-35 and just before you get up to Austin. We will tell you that evacuations were ordered yesterday for the folks who live out here because of the fire, but they were lifted last night after the winds died down. We got about 100 firefighters from Hays County and other areas, and the sheriff's office also has been out here flying their drones. The containment efforts expected to continue this morning, and we are expecting some good news. And as I mentioned, the firefighters out here are planning to meet this morning now that they have some daylight, and they will see what progress that they have made and what the day ahead looks like for them. But the good news is that they are proceeding in containing this fire. I'm Fred Cantu. News 4 San Antonio.
Fred, thank you so much for that report. Prayers, obviously, for those folks living in the Kyle and Buda area. 6:47 right now. Happening today, city and community leaders are set to celebrate the official commemoration of the Silk Road Cultural Heritage District. It's a first, by the way, for the district. News 4's Tawny Davis live with what this all means for the area. Tawny, good morning.
Good morning. This official designation of the Silk Road Cultural Heritage District not only celebrates the many cultures that has been brought here to San Antonio, but allows people to learn more about the people who have brought this area to life. Now, the Silk Road Cultural Heritage District was officially approved by the Historic and Design Review Commission on December 18th. The new district recognizes the many cultures and communities whose roots stem from North and Central Africa to Eastern Asia that shop, live, and interact along the Wurzbach corridor. This also allows recognition for the contributions of the men and women who have made the area a vibrant ecosystem for small businesses.
These people who've developed out this historic heritage district, right, on their own without the help of anybody, they are San Antonians too, and they deserve the city to get behind them and rally behind them and cheerlead for them the same way that we do for the small businesses around the historic missions, the small businesses up and down the Art Deco district, right, the small businesses downtown.
Elias also says these businesses are a part of the backbone of San Antonio. He credits the fact that they have traveled from across the world to become a part of this community and are essential to the health of our small business ecosystem. Now, the ceremony will be a little later this morning at 10 a.m. here at the Baklava Bakery, which is right behind me, where they will be placing the historic district marker. Reporting live, I'm Tawny Davis. Back to you.
All right, Tawny, thanks. About 10 minutes now from 7 a.m., Vice President J.D. Vance will be in Texas later today along the southern border. He is the highest-ranking official from the Trump administration to visit since the campaign. News 4's Jordan Elder is in Eagle Pass now with a preview of his visit.
Eagle Pass is one of the stops Vice President Vance will make on the border, and on X, he says it's about highlighting what this administration has been able to accomplish so far. Crossings have been declining for several months now, and experts say policies on both sides of the border are contributing to that. Border Patrol hasn't released official crossing numbers for February yet, but President Trump says Border Patrol apprehended about 3,800 people. That would be the lowest total in decades. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem visited last month, stopping in Del Rio and then flying here to Eagle Pass, meeting with Border Patrol agents. And about a year ago, President Donald Trump was in Eagle Pass while he was campaigning, sitting down for an interview in Shelby Park and touring some of the Texas efforts in this area. Governor Greg Abbott is now seeking reimbursement for some of those measures to the tune of about $11 billion, but it's unclear how much, if any, Texas will be reimbursed. We've reached out to Abbott's office to see if he will be joining Vice President Vance here in Eagle Pass, but we have not received a response yet. Reporting in Eagle Pass, I'm Jordan Elder.
All right, Jordan, thanks. The Texas measles outbreak now has gone up in case numbers. It is now 159 cases being reported. The CDC says that investigators are going to stay out in West Texas for the next few weeks. They're going to help local officials deal with the outbreak. As we have told you, 22 people have been hospitalized, many of them in Gaines County. Most were not vaccinated for the measles. Last week, a young child in Lubbock died because of the measles. That child was unvaccinated. A Texas Senate panel advancing a bill that would require the 10 Commandments to be placed inside of classrooms. It's called Senate Bill 10. It would require all state public schools to display a poster or a framed copy of the 10 Commandments. Supporters say it's part of Texas history. Critics say it violates religious freedom. We'll let you know what happens.
Now your certified most accurate 4-zone weather with meteorologist Jeannette.
Well, we had some rain across the area yesterday. Here's a look at those rainfall totals. Few hundredths of an inch, close to a tenth of an inch here in San Antonio, but up towards the hill country is where we saw up to a quarter of an inch, and that was around Bernie, over towards Hallettsville, exactly a quarter of an inch, just over a tenth of an inch there in Canyon Lake and in Kerrville. No rain this morning, no rain today. It would be nice if we had some rain today so it could clear the sky from all the dust that we still have in the area. Now, it's not as bad as yesterday, but there is still some dust out there. There goes the storm system that produced the rainfall. It's moving off towards the east. It's approaching the east coast. There's severe weather ahead of the front, and that is now causing issues from the Carolinas to northern Florida. We're seeing severe thunderstorm watches and warnings, and that is a tornado watch for the Carolinas. The storm system in the upper Midwest is helping to produce some snow. There's another storm that's approaching the west coast. There it is in California. That'll continue to move off towards the east, and that's the weather maker that could produce some showers here heading into the weekend. Live look outside. Now that the sun is coming up, you can make out that hazy sky because of the lingering dust. It is 56 degrees in San Antonio right now. Thanks to our Raul B. Rodriguez weather camera, we can see that hazy sunrise. North wind at 10 miles an hour. Dew point temperature low at 33. Now we have those north breezes that are a little higher up across the hill country, 13 miles an hour in New Braunfels, 12 in Bernie. Highest wind gusts up towards Austin, close to 30 miles an hour. And we'll see the wind pick up a little more later this morning. It'll be a little windier, mid to late morning, and then less wind after lunchtime. Tomorrow we'll have less wind in the morning and then higher winds in the afternoon. Could have occasional wind gusts by then, upwards of 25, near 30 miles an hour. Here's the fire danger for today. Moderate in the blue, high in the yellow, not as extreme as what we had yesterday. Air temperatures across the state right now, 30s and 40s across the north, and some of that chilly air will make it this far south tomorrow morning, so you may have to break out the sweater this time tomorrow. It's in the teens in Denver. So sunny skies today. Tomorrow will be mostly sunny. We'll have a few clouds around in the morning and then mostly sunny for the rest of the day. More in the way of clouds that hang around on Friday, and that's because of the increase in low-level moisture with winds coming up from the Gulf. Saturday does look cloudy in the morning with perhaps a shower and then some sun for the rest of the day. Just a few clouds around early this morning, then sunshine, low to mid 50s for the next couple of hours, upper 50s at 9. At noon, we're in the upper 60s near 70. This afternoon, climbing to about 74. So temperatures will be comfortable, not too warm, not too cool. Down across the south is where it's going to be the warmest. Tomorrow morning, 45, and then warming up to 76, mostly sunny. Friday, check that out, 86 degrees. Then behind a front, we'll see the cooler weather. 20% rain chance Friday night into early Saturday. Sunday will be the coolest day of the weekend. And just know that the wind, yes, will pick up over the weekend. 43 to 68 on Sunday, 41 to 75 as we kick off spring break on Monday, up to 80 on Tuesday. Daylight saving time, that returns over the weekend. Clocks bring forward 1 hour starting at 2 a.m. on Sunday. Here's the extended forecast for everybody else. You can get this online at news4sa.com. Click on weather.
All right, straight back to David Mendoza in your South Texas Ford dealer Sky 4. He's on the northeast side. We've got a new crash causing delays along Loop 410. David, what have you learned here?
Hey, here we are in the westbound lanes of 410 coming from I-35 south. We have a car right here in the middle of your screen that has hit a center divider, closing the off-ramp and closing a couple lanes in westbound 410. So if you're coming from I-35, be prepared to wait a little bit because traffic is backed up all the way back here. I am working on getting more details about this accident. I do see a paramedic unit on there, so hopefully everybody's okay, but we'll see. Toss it back to you.
All right, David, thank you. So yeah, so just to show you where that is and that line of traffic that we just saw in that live picture, it's reflected here in our map as well. The southbound lanes of I-35 are really going to feel the effects of this because it's right when you take that exit on the Loop 410 where you're going to see that crash. Again, that's right at I-35 or Austin Highway, the westbound lanes of Loop 410. Also already seeing delays both in the north and southbound lanes of I-35 approaching Loop 1604 because of the ongoing construction there. Downtown, we had a crash here in the northbound lanes of I-35. As you were approaching the Y, that's downtown, not far from where we already had construction delays as well. I-35 southbound between West Martin Street and Cesar Chavez, down to one lane, now causing about a 5-minute delay. That's the latest with your on-time traffic.
All right, Joy, thanks. You and David, great job this morning. One final look at the morning headlines. San Antonio police are investigating a shooting. One man is dead because of that. Police called out to an apartment complex on Pecan Valley Drive over on the south side. This all happened about 9 o'clock last night. They found a man slumped over in the steering wheel of his car with a gunshot wound to the neck. That man, they say, was in his 50s or 60s. He died later at the hospital. Big day for the San Antonio Zoo. They're having a gender reveal party for Tupi, the baby capybara. Tupi was born last December. It's the first of its kind in San Antonio since 2000. Oh, that one's little compared to the ones that are really big. We'll find out today at 10 a.m. if Tupi is a boy or a girl. You think?
My guess is a girl. You?
I'm going to go with girl as well. By the way, they can get up to about 150 pounds. Did I?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I hedged my bet. Today's a gift. Make it count.